Okay, let's have a look at Show My Homework. Let's see how to log in, how to reset your password if you have lost it, forgotten it, or haven't received it, and how to set your first homework. So we're on showmyhomework.co.uk. We're going to click on the login icon, and we're going to log in with our email or username. If you've forgotten your password or don't have your password set, click on here to reset, enter your school email address, click Reset Password, and an email will be sent to you explaining how to do that. Once you have set up your account or your password, you can change your login to just being a username rather than your full email address. And we put in our password. We can click Remember Me if you're on a computer that only you use, and log in. So now I'm logged in. This little gear symbol allows me to do some settings, and here's where I can set some details of my profile. So there's the username, which you can set to be whatever you want to. Something fairly short and memorable is useful, rather than having to use your entire email address each time you log in. So let's set our first homework. The big plus sign is to add a homework. There are various different kinds of homeworks. We're just going to go with the basic set homework to begin with. So we get a page like this, and we're going to just put in a homework title. So I'm going to set a photography homework for my students. And this homework is an extension of work they've started in class. So in the description, all I'm going to do is really write a brief synopsis of what I'm asking them to do. I'm going to attach a document which explains the task in much more detail a bit later on. If you've got a fairly short, simple, straightforward homework task, writing it all in the description can be okay. If not, a brief synopsis with an attached, more detailed document is a good idea. So we're going to go ahead and write my synopsis in the description box. So I've just written a brief synopsis of the homework in the description box, and I'm going to go ahead now and set my subject is set to photography, and there's a drop-down list there. I'm going to select my class. This is for Year 10. I have 4 Year 10 classes. I will have to set the homework separately for each class, but I don't have to rewrite it. I'll show you how to do that shortly. So photography 1Y is my class. This homework's set across 2 weeks, so I'm going to say this is going to be about 2 hours across the 2 weeks. Marking scheme, we're just sticking to no grade required at the moment, and we're sticking to class submission. In other words, although my students aren't going to be bringing anything into my class, it may well be in your homework they're writing something in their exercise book or bringing some work in on paper. So I think for the moment, class submission is definitely the best way for us all to go. Issue date, I'm actually going to set this homework for my class next Wednesday and Friday, so I'm going to choose the Wednesday, the 24th. It's going to be due in 2 weeks later, which will be the 8th of October. And now I'm going to add resources, and this is where I've got my overview of the homework. So I'm going to upload some resources, because I have a file that's on my desktop called Formal Elements, and it's called Homework. I should rename that Homework, really. So Formal Elements Homework, that's the document I need them to read. They're not going to do anything on that sheet, it's just information for them to read. So I'm going to select that file, and that's in a PDF format, and PDF format's the best format for any document that you just want students to look at or to read. It's better than a Word document, for example, or a PowerPoint document, because it's much easier to read a PDF file on a mobile device without having to open another piece of software. So PDF is the way to go. So I've uploaded my document. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add in some web links, because I've got some websites, some useful websites that I think the students would find useful to help with this project. So I've got these open in my tabs, and I'm just going to copy the web address and paste, and I'm going to do that for all of my websites. So you can see I've got 3 there at the moment, and obviously I can add more and put the rest in. So now I've added my resource, I've added my web links, I'm all ready to either here publish or save as draft. If I'm not sure, if I actually probably want to go back and change some of this at some point before actually setting it, I can just choose save as draft. And that's going to save into my drafts folder. So I'm saving that as a draft homework. And there's what the homework will look like when I set it. So there's the synopsis of the homework. There's the document. And if I click on that document, you see actually that just opens in a new tab on my web browser. So the student can read through my document, through my my helpful resource, hopefully helpful resource, without having to download, open in a new program, etc. And that's why PDF is such a great format for files to use in this way. Here's where reusing the homework is really useful. So I've got 4 classes. I can now choose to reuse that homework. And I can reuse that homework in a second class. And actually I'm happy with this now. The issue date needs to be, again, 24th. The due date is going to be the 8th. And I'm going to publish that homework to my calendar. So now my homework has been published into the school calendar, and I can click on the calendar here to show my calendar, and it shows the homeworks that I have set. So these are the ones that I've set this week. If I go to next week, there's the formal elements photography homework, which has been set from the 24th through to 2 weeks' time, due in on the 8th of October. So there's how I can log in, set my first homework, and reuse a draft homework to set for my students.